relatable. You probably understand it. Here's the point. You've got to get to that place where you get through the layer of chatter. Those memories, whether it's mom or a sibling or a teacher or a reverend or somebody that had some influence on, some impact on you, that did something they didn't mean to do, and said something that would suggest that you are less than you are, and get past that and move to the voice of truth. And the voice of truth says you are a beloved child of God, and you are here to do absolutely extraordinary things.
Amen.
Amen indeed.
That's right. That's right.
Now, is there some common sense practicality in all this? For example, if I, for some crazy reason, had it in my head that I ought to be an NBA player, I got news for you. First of all, I would fall over the ball about 2 steps away. I know it. I get it. It's actually pretty humorous. My basketball skills are up there with my breakdancing. Not quite as good, but really close. Okay? But what if really and truly basketball was in my heart? I want to be a basketball player. If I wanted that badly enough, don't you think God would have led me down a path that made basketball part of my life in such a way that it fed that place in me?
Yes.
Maybe I would be a coach for a little boys' team and really make a world of difference in somebody's life. Let's look at my own life. I wanted to be Billy Joel. I'm not. But I make a really nice living doing music, doing entertainment. Now I'm working in a spiritual quest here. God set that all up. God led me down this path. God even threw some interesting roadblocks when I decided that my logical brain would leave this path and do something more logical. I swear God set it up so that I would fail,
Yes.
which was horrible at the time.
Yep.
A big roadside going, detour, detour, we need you doing what you're here to do.
That's right.
Now, I could have ignored the signs and driven around them back into the dark woods again. Because I believe God works that way. I work now, I'm a music director at a Center for Spiritual Living. And they're cousins of Unity, but a little bit more focused on, whatever you focus on is going to happen. End of story. God will just give you exactly what you focused on. And that doesn't really feed me spiritually as much as it does some of the other people who are at the church. I just still feel like God has his finger on our pulse. God has a plan. God has some roadmaps. I still think ultimately it is up to us. I think we're the ones who are going to make the choices. But I do think that God is constantly going, no, hello, wake up! And trying to guide us along in these various ways. And we can choose to ignore that or accept that and listen and connect to it.
Yes.
I invite you to be still and know, get through. If you start hearing any negative chatter coming in, including your own, I invite you in a daily meditation, daily, not once in a while. Make it a habit, make it a practice to get into a quiet place. For me, it's morning with my French vanilla coffee. That's my time. Everybody knows doing his thing. For some of you, it might be before bed. For some of you, it might be during a break in the middle of the afternoon. Whatever it is that works for you, please take a moment to plug in. You know the old FM radios, or AM radios, probably a better example. You'd be kind of turning the station, you hear while you're tuning.
Yes.
And then all of a sudden, you get to a station or a song that, oh yeah, That's what I want to hear. Okay. I suggest that tuning in and listening to the voice of truth is kind of like that. You get quiet and still, and you hear, you can't, you won't, no, you are not, and get to, my child of God, my beloved, welcome. Here's what we're going to do. Everything is okay. All is well. I promise, and I don't use those words very lightly, I promise it will change your life. God knows it changed mine. When I started to get to just that place where I could really listen to the voice of truth and know that there is a plan. There is a reason. Pay attention to little things like coincidences. Do not miss out on being absolutely in awe of little coincidences. Little, they're not little. Think about a childhood friend. Oh, I remember the 4th grade, blah, blah, blah. Huh, that's neat. And then the next day, or the same day, you get a phone call. I don't know if you remember me, but this is... That stuff happens routinely to Larry and I. And I think the reason that it keeps coming is because we don't dismiss it at all. We completely, this is, thank you. This is awesome. The workshop today is just an introduction to the work I've been doing on spiritual people skills. We're only going to have in between 90 and 120 minutes, somewhere in that window, an hour and a half to 2 hours to work on things. And I could spend 2 hours just on spiritual people skills for Facebook. Or spiritual people skills for the telephone, or spiritual people skills for listening. And I have spent that amount of time just on one particular topic or area of our lives. But we're going to just touch on ways that you can be a better friend, a better listener, a better human being. How you can feel fulfilled. You can feel spiritually fed with no agenda, but to be of service. And Wayne told me, I will never forget Wayne's #1 advice. He had a lot of business advice for me, and even some advice on the middle of the divorce I was in. He said, always be still and ask, how may I serve? In every circumstance. You know what? Stop at Park and Shop later. And before you go into that crazy store, how may I serve? Really. Ask and listen for the answer, and you will bump into just the person that you need to serve. But here's the beauty of this. It's spiritual law, it's spiritual principle. By doing that, you'll be fed tenfold. The gifts that return are just astounding. I'm going to tell you just one quick story because it's relevant to today's activity. There was a, just thinking about this just overwhelms me sometimes. There was a Facebook post about a little girl who was fighting cancer up in northern Massachusetts here. And my friend posted it from California. Now, you have to be careful because there's a lot of nonsense posted on Facebook and not true things, and you need to do your homework. So the first thing I did was called my friend directly and said, do you actually know this little girl? Yes, I do. I know these people personally. Okay. I wanted to know that was true. I said, this little girl loves getting mail. And we've gotten mail from like 8 different states. But she said she'd like to have some mail from all the states. So we put together a box of some of our CDs, and my grandkids drew pictures for her. We put together this whole little care package. And she received it, and I'm sorry, I'm getting this out of order. She just wanted mail, was the first thing I knew. She wanted to get mail. And they sent us photos of her opening the box and holding the CD, you know, their little turban on. She was so pale, so frail, but a big smile, holding the CDs and our boxes. And this lady that set this all up shared that with us. What a gift to see that little girl smiling, holding our CD 1,000 miles away. Then I saw posted, there was a page set up to this little girl, for this little girl. It said, folks, we now have 21 states. We really want to get all 50. So I posted, I need my friends to contact me. I need you to send a piece of mail. And I had hundreds of people, because friends of friends of friends were sharing this. Within 6 weeks, this little girl had mail from every state in the country. Because of people like you. Because you read it when I care. And then people would go, oh, I have a cousin in Iowa. I wonder if she has mail from Iowa. And they'd write, does she have mail? No, we don't have Iowa yet. We need, great. Here's the address. Please mail it. Mail it as soon as you can. Well, we kept tabs on all this, and unfortunately Emma made her transition, which was hard. But she was finally at peace. And as difficult as that was, about 6 months later, I got the gift of my life. And this little girl's tutor messaged me via Facebook. She said, Tina, Emma's mother, and I want to meet people who really had a big impact on her in her final days. And the first person on our list was you. Is it okay if we fly to Nashville and meet you? So they were willing to get on a plane and come and see me. And the love that filled my soul, as you can see, is almost more than I could take in. Now here's where it gets ridiculous. Sort of ridiculous, okay? I said to her, I would love that. When are you thinking about coming? Well, I don't know. We'll check the rates, blah, blah, blah. We're conferring schedule. I said, I'm flying up to see my daughter this weekend. Where do you live? I said, oh, we live in, and she said the town. I'm like, well, I don't really know where that is, but my daughter lives in Salem. She goes, oh my gosh, that's like 15 minutes away from us. Like, wow, well, then I'm already flying up, so we'll meet. Okay, well, we're making plans. So she said, we're comparing schedules. I said, well, Sunday morning, I'm going to the Unity Church in Amesbury. She's like, on River Road? Yeah. She says, Tina and I have been driving past that for the past year, saying we really need to check that place out. It's half a mile from where we live. So they met me at Unity, and I introduced Tina to Shipley, and they set up some counseling, some grief counseling for her, much needed. And then we went to a tavern. And I celebrated my Irish heritage. And we are close friends. Tina is devoting her life to writing a book about losing a child. But not losing a child. Because she's getting all these visits and messages from Emma. And that's a whole other topic for another Sunday. But she's open and she's totally recognizing that Emma is orchestrating all kinds of stuff from beyond, including my being half a mile from their house. And it is so beautiful. And you are so beautiful. Life is such a gift. You have all the skills, you have all the tools you need. You just decide how you want to use them, if you want to use them. Workshop is at 12:15. I'd love for you to hang around and be with us. I think you'll enjoy it. If nothing else, we'll have a few laughs. And thank you for listening to me. Thank you.